Good evening, Atlanta News First Alert, Meteorologist Patrick Pete, here with your Saturday, Saturday forecast. And we've been tracking storms for the last couple of hours. The National Weather Service has a severe thunderstorm watch that's in place for some of our counties. If there's any good news here, some of our counties have been trimmed out of this severe thunderstorm watch, but it does still exist for us here in Fulton County, as well as DeKalb, Gwinnett, Forsyth, Douglas County, all the way out towards Heard, Carroll County, and stretching east all the way to Clark County, Green, Oglethorpe County. So still a lot of the metro included, but also a lot of North Georgia still under this severe thunderstorm watch until the 10 o'clock hour. Here's the look of the lay of the land right now. I mean, you can see this line of scattered storms still pushing through the area. The warnings have not been as robust as they were earlier this afternoon, but we are still tracking at least a couple of thunderstorms that have been producing some gusty winds. There is a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Coweta County, as well as Heard County, Carroll County, and that's going to be in effect for still a few more minutes. I'm tracking this storm as it races towards the east-southeast at about 45 miles per hour. So if you are out in Noonan, this is going to be arriving at 8:15, so that's less than 10 minutes away. Peachtree City at around 8:30, same for Sharpsburg, pushing into Fayetteville at around 8:35. Moving into the Jonesboro area just before the 8:40 time frame. Lots of downpours here. Radar's estimating 60 miles per hour wind gusts, a lot of lightning, and even some small hail embedded in this thunderstorm. So this is something we'll continue to monitor over the course of the next few hours. Good evening, Robert and Alex. East Point here. Yeah, if you're in East Point, things are not looking too bad for you right now. We had a little bit of rain that moved through earlier, and I zoomed in specifically into Atlanta and a lot of the surrounding communities because while there are some very strong storms in other parts of our region, we're kind of getting it a little bit on the lighter end here inside of the perimeter. You can see it's just light green out there. It's just a light rain, not a biggie. You may have to dodge a couple of showers if you're getting out and about into the streets this evening, but not a bad go compared to what we're tracking to the south and west, and also compared to what we're tracking out towards the east. I'm looking at this very aggressive line of storms that is moving through Athens. This is also moving through North High Shoals, Watkinsville, stretching all the way down towards Rutledge. If you're in Madison, this is starting to move into your neighborhood. Heavy downpours and a lot of lightning, and the winds have been gusting roughly 40 miles per hour in this line of storms. That is not a severe warned storm, but with heavy rain and gusty winds, we'll be watching for some trees to potentially come down. We should expect it to be a little bit more isolated to the east, but we've already seen a lot of impacts from these storms today. This is just a look at a couple of minutes ago. I did a sampling of the power outages out there, and there's about 10,000 power outages inside of Fulton County and DeKalb counties, and those outages in Cobb County have jumped to 6,500. Out in Gwinnett, it's a little bit less. We're talking about 4,000, and then about 3,500 people without power in Cherokee, which that number has also come down. So these thunderstorms have packed a bit of a punch. Thankfully, we're not talking tornadoes, but we are still talking heavy rain and gusty winds. So that's something that we'll continue to monitor, at least for the next couple of hours, as this line of storms pushes further to the south and east. Big question, Patrick, when is it gone? By around 10 o'clock, I think the leading edge of this storm system will be pushing out of our area, moving through our southernmost communities. I'm looking at you down in Pike, Lamar counties, as well as Upson County, Butts County, Jasper, Putnam. You'll be the last ones to get in on this by midnight. I expect us to be on the drier side. We'll deal with some lingering clouds and temperatures that are going to be a little bit milder through the overnight. We're talking upper 60s, lower 70s. Not terrible, but still on the warm side. Par for the course for this time of year. With this line of storms moving through as aggressively as it has, that boundary pushing through the way it is, the risk for these showers and storms tomorrow is reduced a little bit. If you were with us this morning, we dropped the first alert weather day, and we kind of hinted yesterday that this was going to be a real shaky, isolated situation, and guidance continues to point to that. The best chance for some of these thunderstorms to be on the stronger side tomorrow will definitely be south of the I-20 corridor. Here's that hour by hour of your Sunday, just so that you can plan, because I'll be out and about, and I'm sure you will too. So we're pretty dry through the morning, a lot of sunshine. Looks like Robert Sanders asked me about Newton. I'm assuming you're asking about those storms that are rolling through this evening. So let me back up real quick. Kind of doing all this from the front of the front line. There we go. So you're talking about Newton County. Yeah, I think that that'll be moving through your area roughly around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then pushing out. Right now, what we're seeing in that's headed towards Newton isn't looking as aggressive as these other storms, so I don't think you have anything to be worried about per se. I know that's where the question is going, but nonetheless, that's where we're headed. Somebody said why, I guess this is Tanya, why the wind was bad. The wind was 50 minutes. That was a long time, and it almost felt like a hurricane wind. I guess that's 50 miles per hour wind gusts, Tanya. Yeah, so, with these thunderstorms, whenever you have thunderstorms that are growing, there's a whole lot going on inside of a thunderstorm. And I'm not going to give you a drawn-out lecture on them, but there's an updraft and a downdraft to a thunderstorm, and typically the stronger the thunderstorm, the stronger the downdraft and the updraft in theory, which means that sometimes you can have those winds coming out of the thunderstorm very fast. They're typically cooler winds, so if you stepped outside, normally it's actually kind of out ahead of the thunderstorm depending on the setup. We had that here today at the station. We had the gusty winds. We call it a gust front, or you may, there's different words that we use for it. Outflow boundary, either way, it's the same thing. It's basically that rush of air that comes out of the thunderstorm out ahead of the storm, and those can gust 40, 50 miles per hour, and it's typically cooler. So I don't know if you stepped outside when that happened, but I did, and it felt amazing. Here at the station. Nonetheless, by 10 o'clock, you can see that that line of storms is moving through Newton County, Rockdale County, pushing on out towards the south and east. The risk for strong to severe thunderstorms diminishes the later we get into the evening. So that doesn't mean you're in the clear. It just means that we start to lose some of our energy, and those storms should gradually weaken and wane over the next couple of hours. And I think we trend drier through the overnight. We kind of mentioned that. We mentioned those morning temperatures being a little bit on the warmer side. Looks like someone asked, does anyone know what's going on at the airport? I'm going to push this to the newsroom, and they're going to be working, about anything that's going on at the airport. My digital producer is saying nothing that we know of. If you could elaborate, if there's something going on, I can get Carly Burnett to get in on the wires and find out what's going on at the airport. Let's get you through tomorrow, which we kind of tried to get you through there. Hour by hour forecast, a lot of sunshine in the morning, heading to church, great. Getting out to go maybe grab a nice, lunch at around 11, 12 o'clock, things looking pretty good. And then Tanya asks, is this the first time we see 60 at night? We're not going to get to the 60s inside of the city. In the suburbs, we will. And that's kind of been the makeup for about the last week or so. But the forecast does improve. Tanya, as far as inside of the perimeter, those morning temperatures, we'll see some nice mid 60s, which will be the coolest we've seen in a while. So a lot of sunshine through the start of the day tomorrow, and I mentioned that there's a chance for some isolated stronger thunderstorms late afternoon, early evening. It does appear that the areas along and south of the I-20 corridor are going to be the most ripe to get any of this. So I think that if you're north of I-20, you're probably going to be okay, and you actually have a pretty fantastic Sunday forecast. But the energy stays south of I-20 through the late afternoon and early evening. We trend dry through the overnight, and that's going to set us up for a nice forecast for Monday. So for anybody that's looking to make plans tomorrow and you are north of I-20, it's going to be a great pool day. I'm going to be out and about in the streets. I hope that you are too, maybe at a pool, maybe doing an outdoor run, who knows. But it's going to be a good day to do that. It's going to be a little warm. We'll hit 90 degrees, but if you've been running in the afternoons or early evenings lately, this is going to be just as nice as any other day. So green light there. As we head into Monday, we'll start to gradually see some slightly drier air filter in. So I do think that more locations will be in the mid to upper 60s to kickstart the day. Tanya, I don't know where you are, but if you are in Blairsville, the morning is going to be amazing on Monday, low 60s. Hey, Carly, have you heard anything about there being some sort of hold at the airport? I mean, it could be just because of these storms that are around, theoretically, just because we've had some gusty winds even out ahead of the storms that moved through here that were pretty weak here in Atlanta. The winds were gusty, and that can cause a delay. Someone's asking, they're stuck in Indianapolis trying to get here, and there's some sort of hold at the airport.
It's possible because of the weather. We do have a reporter at the airport
Okay.
currently, and she hasn't said anything.
Okay. Yeah, so it's definitely weather related. We have a reporter that's actually at the airport right now, and she hasn't said anything. So it's definitely going to be the weather related. So I imagine that that should shift within the next 30 minutes or so. There is some rain that's still moving through. A little breeze. I imagine they're going to start to get things rolling again because the looks like the strongest part of this system that's going to pass the airport for the most part has passed it. There's the southernmost. I think it's going to be the southernmost part of Fulton County that could see another line that's moving east. That severe thunderstorm warning that I mentioned that was out in Coweta County that could hit some of extreme southern Fulton County. But otherwise, I think that things should be clearing up for you momentarily. Monday's looking good. Monday's dry. Monday, Sunday, sunny. And temperatures are going to get into the mid to upper 80s through the afternoon. So a little bit cooler. I know that it doesn't really feel much different. 91, 88, 89, 92, those numbers all kind of feel the same, but there will be some slightly drier air building in, so it just will not be as uncomfortable heading into next week. Those dew points fall through the day on Monday, and listen, if y'all don't see me on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, and it's because I've called out. I'm not on vacation. I'm just using PTO days because it's going to feel so nice, so amazing. Yeah, it's going to be in the 80s, but the dew points are going to be in picture perfect territory. It doesn't get any better than this for the month of August. So mark your calendars. If you have some PTO days that you've been saving to kind of burn toward the end of the year, the kids are going back to school, and maybe you just want a day at the house, in the backyard, whatever the case may be, on the patio. This is going to be a good time to do it because it's amazing weather heading into the middle of the week. The dew points do start to creep back up late week and get back into that humid territory. So you kind of have to take your wins where we get them, get out and about and enjoy it while you can because things get, unfortunately, more humid as we head through the 7-day forecast. Looks like all inbound flights are held until 9:15. Is that what I saw, Ellie? Yes. So hopefully that will be cleared up for you within the next hour. Which means that things should be able to start get rolling. We can get you back home, the A-team. Sorry for your delay. Hopefully we can get you back into the city and into the state of Georgia nice and safely. Because at the end of the day, an hour delay, listen, one thing that my coworkers can tell you is that I love traveling. I hate flying. I'm a bit of a control freak, and I don't know how to fly a plane. So I feel like I have to be the superhero whenever I'm on a flight. And so I hate traveling for that reason, right? So for me, every time that I see a story about a plane that has issues, per se, it doesn't even have to crash. It could just have issues. It makes me want to stay grounded. Literally, I drove to Washington, D.C. in an attempt to avoid getting on a plane just because, Anyways, this isn't about me. Let's get you through the 7-day forecast. And I did mention that temperatures are still going to be hovering in the upper 80s. And in general, there's not much of a difference to the feel of 93 88 degrees when the dew points are the same, but when the dew points are different, when the dew points drop, it actually feels amazing. And I think that Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the best days of this forecast this week, especially heading into the morning, Wednesday morning. Like if I work afternoons, right? So like the mornings are like when I kind of get stuff done, go out for a run, go for a bike ride, whatever the case may be. Wednesday morning is going to feel fantastic. If you're not riding to work Tuesday and Wednesday morning with your windows down, with the AC off, you're doing it wrong. But anyways, we'll get back into the upper 80s, and the humidity creeps back up as we head towards Thursday, Friday. It's in the humid category, but not like oppressive, so we'll be watching that. We're also keeping an eye on the tropics. Hurricane Ernesto, winds sustained at 75 miles per hour. It is moving to the north-northeast at about 6 miles per hour, so that forward speed has slowed down. If you have relatives or any kind of relations, interests in Bermuda, they're still getting some of this. The winds are still whipping on the back end of that, so they're still getting some gusty winds and the occasional showers from the backside, the outer rain bands, still giving them a little bit of rain, but it is pulling away and things are gradually improving for them and will continue to do so. This system will push off towards the north and east and really remain a maritime issue with the exception of coming very close to Newfoundland. So that's where we stand, guys. I hope that you are having a fantastic Saturday. I hope you all have the First Alert Weather app downloaded because, we've been updating you about these watches and these warnings, and we'll continue to do so over the course of the next couple of hours. And then more importantly, if you do have plans out and about tomorrow and you're along in south of I-20 and one of those storms fire up, we can send you a message to tell you, hey, give it 20 minutes. Get inside. It's lightning outside. 11.8 miles away, whatever that distance might be. We work very hard to keep our app functioning in that way to keep you on par with your plans because I use it too. Here's that 7-day forecast, y'all. I'm not going to hold you longer. I always say I'm going to keep you for a good time, not a long time. There's a lot of news that's actually in the works of breaking right now, and our teams they're very hard at work getting those stories validated. What I can tell you is that we will be doing this show at 10 o'clock on this stream. But at 11 o'clock on Atlanta News First, we're actually going to have a reporter live at a scene of a developing story. I'm a meteorologist, so I'm just going to stay in my lane and do the weather. I understand that whenever things happen, we have to go through our channels to get everything confirmed because we don't want to lie to you. I know y'all think we just tell y'all stories, but they're always true stories. So, but we're working to confirm some things, and not the best news, I'll be frank, but if we get all of this confirmed, which I believe we will within the next hour or so, we'll send those push alerts to your phone on the Atlanta News First news app, and then also we will have a live reporter from that scene tonight at 10 and 11. So stick with us then, guys. We'll keep you updated. Y'all have a fantastic evening. Thank you, everybody that's on our YouTube stream that has been chatting with us. This is very nice. It's nice to get a little bit of engagement out of you all, but you can ask your questions. You can be petty, and I can do it too. We do this stream every evening at 8 o'clock. There's sometimes a stream a little bit earlier than this on the weekend at 4, but Monday through Friday, every night, 8 o'clock, you can catch some variation of our news team on this stream, not only on the ANF Plus app on your TV, but we stream it on YouTube so that you guys can chat with us. Y'all have a fantastic evening. Y'all stay safe. I see y'all, I think it's 55 of y'all that's viewing right now. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. Enjoy Saturday night. Make it a good one.